Hi and welcome to WorkPro. Today's really brief tutorial is to show you how to use WorkPro's Australian Citizenship and Work Rights Check. So the first thing you do as an administrator is to log into your private dashboard, and you're going to send a one candidate or multiple candidates a request for their citizenship information, or you're going to complete a Vivo check or a citizenship check on a candidate's behalf. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to send a request. So from your private dashboard, click New Request, sending a request to a new candidate or sending a bulk request. I'll show you the single request first. Selecting Continue, entering the candidate's name, their email, mobile number if you have SMS functionality turned on, coming across to background checks, choosing Citizenship and Work Rights Check, and sending your request. If you'd like to send a request in bulk, you select New Request, Send Bulk Request, Continue, and you have a couple of options here. You can enter details manually. So this would be if you had, say, up to 10 candidates that you'd like to send a check to, so rather than doing them one by one. So clicking here, and much like the New Request area for a single candidate, enter the candidate's name, their email, mobile number. You do need to create a package for this particular one. So you'd have a package set up in WorkPro called Citizenship and Work Rights Check. Choosing that package, send request, add, and then when you're ready, you can just quickly send request. If you have a lot of people that you need to check, you're better off using a CSV file. So you complete that outside of this environment. Save your CSV file, which must contain 3 columns. Name in the first column, email in the second column, and mobile in the third column. So that's the headings for those columns. If you're not using WorkPro or you're not using WorkPro's SMS function, you will still need to add mobile as a heading, but you won't include the candidate's mobile in that column. Select the package, which will be Citizenship and Work Rights Check, upload your CSV file, send your request. So with a few buttons, you could be sending hundreds and hundreds of candidates this request for their citizenship check or work rights check. So once you've sent your request, the WorkPro platform will take over, and if that task remains outstanding, the candidate will receive text or email alerts every 3rd day. So that's if the task remains outstanding, so that you don't need to worry about it. You can see how many requests have been sent to a candidate from the Actions tab through Track Request. Right, so now that you've sent your request, I just want to quickly show you the candidate side of the process. So the candidate's been sent their request either via email or text. The link is to send them to this page or a branded portal. Selecting here, they can either sign up for an account, or if they already have a WorkPro account, they can simply sign in here. So entering their candidate username and logging into the platform. So what will also be included in that request to the candidate is a single-use token. So they'll enter that here. I'll just simply resume a session because I've already completed or partway through completing WorkPro. Selecting background check, and you'll see down here, citizenship and work rights check. So the candidate will select start. Are you an Australian citizen? Yes, no. And depending on what that answer is, we'll send them down on different workflows. So if they are an Australian citizen, they're simply entering this information, uploading from a fairly small list, proof of evidence of that Australian citizenship. You can also configure WorkPro to not only upload Australian citizenship evidence, but you can also elect, say if someone has a birth certificate that doesn't have a photo ID, you can also get them to upload a government-issued photo ID. You can also get them to upload a copy or a photo of themselves holding a government-issued photo ID. So this little area is completely configurable to your account, and you can ask us about that and we can quickly enable that for you. You don't have to have this, but it is an additional option which allows you to further validate that person is who they say they are. So once that information's been uploaded, the candidate simply clicks declare they agree to the terms and conditions that you can see this information, you can validate it, choosing next, and that will submit the information. If I'm not an Australian citizen, slightly different information to be added. So their country of citizenship, name, surname, date of birth, country of birth, passport number, and then they're having to upload a copy of their passport or their IMI evidence. Also declaring to the terms and conditions and that they understand that they have a responsibility to let you know if their work conditions change or their visa has been cancelled. So once they do that, they can then select next, and they're submitting that application or completing their application on your behalf. For you. Once that's been completed, they can just simply log out of the platform. What happens now is that you've received an email letting you know that this person has provided information about their citizenship for you to either validate their Australian citizenship or submit their check to Vivo for processing. So just logging back in as an administrator to the WorkPro dashboard, logging in. So just as I sent a request to the candidate as a single request or in bulk, you can also process a Vivo check as a singular check or in bulk. And you also must check their Australian citizenship, and you can also validate that. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at an Australian citizenship document and validate that. So looking at the filter, choosing background checks, citizenship and work rights check, Australian citizens who are ready for me to acknowledge. That's just a simple way of you filtering information so you get the information you require really quickly. There is no way for us to automatically validate this information, so you will have to open up that candidate's document, and that's probably not a very good example. Let me just change that. Scott Gowling, let's have a look. So you can see this information, you can see Australian citizenship, you can see that he's uploaded an Australian passport. You would open that document. If that is not that individual, he's taken a photo of his dog as an example, or it's not a clear imprint of his identity, you can reject the check, which will send an alert back to the individual, letting them know what that error is and inviting them back into the platform. Or you can simply accept, which will then produce a certificate of validation and compliance has been achieved. Nothing further to do. For non-Australian citizens, go now to non-Australian citizens who are ready to submit to Vivo. And let's apply that. So you can do this as a single check, or you can send a bulk check to Vivo. So you'll see here that the status is ready to submit to Vivo. So I open that up, I look at this information, I can view the citizenship document here. I don't need to, but if you wanted to, particularly if there is an error, if there's a rejection from the Vivo database, you might want to check this information and make any corrections, perhaps. Agreeing to the terms and conditions and submitting the check to Vivo. The check to Vivo is an instant response. You can also bulk check. So I just want to quickly show you how you do that. So you've got all of your non-Australian citizens ready to submit to Vivo. Coming over here to actions, you're selecting bulk Vivo check, and you'll see here that you've got a nice list. You can select all, or you can select some that you'd like to send through. You want to enable the auto reminders, and you agree to the terms and conditions and submit the check. So within a few minutes, you could have hundreds of Vivo checks completed, full disclosure certificate. All of the work conditions are shown on the certificate that's returned from Vivo. And you will change, this status will change on your dashboard to finalise check and then the outcome of that check. So I'll just quickly show you that now. So non-Australian citizens who have been finalised, and I'll just show you any limitations or someone that has no work rights. So let's just apply that. And you can see here, this person has limited work rights, unlimited work rights. This person has an expiry on their passport. So you'll see here, if I was to click this one, you'll see here the date that it was completed. The person did have unlimited work rights. They're on a VC 485 and their visa expired in 2018. Now, this is not a great example because this person's visa has expired. You can view this report, which will show you all of the conditions of this person's visa at the time that you produced this check. So you've got all of this information. Once you've sent your check through to Vivo, you can set to be reminded of a certain candidate of a certain time if you want to set a dedicated reminder. But WorkPro has introduced the function whereby we are automatically polling the Vivo database on your behalf. If a work condition changes, an alert will be reported to you every single night. So you might have a report that contains one or multiple candidates on that report with the candidate's name and their work and their conditional change for their work right. A new certificate will be produced automatically, and you'll see this person's the candidate profile in your dashboard updated with an icon that shows you very visually any changes that have been made to this candidate's work condition. You can also use the filtering function to look for any finalised options. So you might want to check, are the most recent check finalised in the last 90 days? And that will show up any candidate who has had a work conditional change in the last period of 90 days. So if there was a conditional change last night, you'll see that at the top of the list, and then you'll see others down, in your dashboard. Outside of that, you're receiving your report every night, full disclosure certificate, constantly polling the Vivo database. If you are no longer employing that candidate and you don't want to see that information shown in your dashboard, you do have the opportunity to archive a candidate, which is always a good thing. So here, this individual no longer works for your organisation. To not see them in the dashboard and not receive alerts and not poll the Vivo database, you simply click the down arrow next to view and you archive the candidate. So let's do that now, and you'll see that that person has now disappeared from your dashboard. If you wanted to restore them so they come back and they're doing a new contract for you, you simply click Views in your dashboard, choose Archived Candidates, and then you can restore that person to your dashboard and then run a new Vivo report depending on their citizenship. So that concludes today's video tutorial. Thank you so much for joining me. Should you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to our Customer Success Centre, 1300 975 776. You can send an email to info@workpro.com.au. There are also other video tutorials that you can take advantage of in your administrator dashboard. You can see them listed as video tutorials here, and also step-by-step user guides. I will see you next time.